Folks, my next guest tonight is one of the country's top legal minds. He has served as U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York for 8 years, and his new book is called Doing Justice. Please welcome to The Late Show, Preet Bharara. Well, Counselor, nice to have you on.
Nice to be here.
Now, there was a time when if Preet Bharara was interested in something you were doing, you should be shaking in your boots, because that's a very powerful position to be the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York.
Yes, no longer. I was fired.
It's still powerful, but you're no longer powerful.
Correct. Although,
right.
now I get to be on the Stephen Colbert show.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's...
You've ascended to a whole new level.
I feel like that's a form of soft power, as they say.
It is very soft. Very soft. You actually can take a pill for that now. So the book is called Doing Justice. What is so special about the Southern District of New York? It is very powerful. The saying goes, I've got this wrong, that the jurisdiction for the Southern District is planet Earth. Is that the joke? So why is it such a powerful position?
So I had the honor and privilege of leading that office for almost 8 years. And it's in the news a lot lately because that office, my former office, is among other things overseeing the investigation and prosecution of Michael Cohen, the former president, the president's lawyer. And one reason is it has a tradition going back to the founding of the Republic. It goes back, literally, the District of New York, before there was a Southern, Eastern, and Western and all the other directions, to the founding of the Republic, 1789. And it has a long tradition of being independent. You know, the nickname for the Southern District of New York, some people don't like it, but the nickname has often been the Sovereign District of New York. And it turns out that for justice to be done, you want an independent prosecutor's office, not a prosecutor's office that's in the pocket of any particular politician who, you know, looks to the winds of political partisanship or anything else. And they do things, in my experience, and I have a parochial pride about that place, that other offices may not do. They're tough and aggressive, but I think they're fair. And a lot of the stories I tell in the book, in none of them am I the hero. The heroes of those stories are the men and women, the investigators, the prosecutors, the staff, who have brought justice and accountability to a lot of folks, and also kept the country safe, not just from things like corruption and financial fraud, but also terrorism and everything else.
Now, Trump fired you. What was the reason? What was the stated reason for firing?
You know, I didn't get a memo. There was no... So ordinarily, the U.S. attorney who's appointed by a prior president, I was appointed by Barack Obama and then confirmed by the Senate, you leave in some orderly fashion when a new president takes power, particularly one of another party, which I fully expected to do. I expected to take a long, lovely, expensive vacation with my family after Donald Trump won. That would be, you know, the one silver lining. And then Donald Trump personally invited me to come to Trump Tower, and I met with him on the 26th floor, and he asked me to stay, which was very, very unusual. So only in that context was it odd for me to be fired in March. One thing that may have contributed to that, as some people may know, and I've written about and talked about, oddly, when I met with the president-elect, he asked me for my phone number, which was odd because obviously the meeting had been arranged and somebody must have had my phone number. So I wrote down my phone number literally on a Post-it pad, my cell number and my office number, and gave it to him. And then he called me a couple of times during the transition. And then he ended up calling me on March 9th after he became the President of the United States, which this is before I knew about how much executive time he spends. And I didn't return the phone call after he left a message because I didn't know what he was calling about. I didn't know what inappropriate thing he might want to talk about. I didn't want it to look like, because the Attorney General wasn't involved in the call. Nobody had a heads up about the call. I wanted to have an arm's length relationship. You know how many times Barack Obama called me? No times. And that's how it should be with respect to a political office holder, the President of the United States, and the local United States attorney. It's fine in certain circumstances for the president to talk to the FBI director or the attorney general, but to call and try to cultivate a relationship with the U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, who, by the way, coincidentally, has natural jurisdiction over the Trump Organization, the Trump Foundation, and various other things, I didn't think was appropriate. So I did not return the call, and 22 hours later, I was asked for my resignation.
Wow, because you're a cold fish. You're playing hard to get, that's why. Doing Justice is available now. Preet Bharara, everybody. We'll be right back with a performance by Lucas Nelson and promise I'll get